Hi Scorpio, this is your April 2019 reading. Finally, the month that we've been talking about for the last couple of months has arrived. We have Saturn, Pluto, South Node coming together for the first time ever in your house of communication, in your house of thinking. We are looking at sorting some blockage out of our self-expression so our higher inspiration can be expressed in the right way to the wider audience. We are looking to remove some sort of hindrance, whether it is psychological, it is internal, it is physical, it's a mode of communication which has become an issue, but you're looking to interact with your daily environment, with your environment much more in a much deeper way. But in order to make that impact on your surroundings, on the people who you interact with, there's something that needs to be released, and you will be waking up to your true potential with that, because Pluto wakes us up to our true power. And in your case, the power is in your words, the power is in your self-expression, the power is in your thought processes. And with Pluto being our ruler, this directly impacts us in a very, very deeper manner. But the impact will be different depending on which generation you belong to, because Pluto is a generational planet. So I'll speak about which years are impacted in which fashion, because different generations are going to be impacted in a different way with this Pluto transit. And then what happens at the end of the month is that Saturn is also meeting with Ketu. So we are reminded of some sort of restriction, some sort of limitation, some sort of boundaries that we need to create, some structure of our communication strategy that we need to create in order to make our commercial success more long lasting. We are looking to create the basis of our long lasting commercial success with Saturn in our house of commercial dealings, with Jupiter in our house of resources. We are trying to create and expand the sources of income. We are trying to expand the way we generate value out of our talents. Now, in order to do that, you need to create certain structures, and you would be highlighted certain gaps that exist in your current skill set, in your current communication style, in the current way of you relating with your co-workers, with the people in your surrounding, which will help you take you to the next level in your commercial destiny. We have a full moon at the end of the month, which normally in every year would have been our new moon, our full moon. It would have been a Scorpio full moon. This is the time when we complete the 6-month cycle of our solar year. This is where the culmination of the last 6 months happen, and a new chapter begins, and you will experience that. But this year, it's coming with a bit of a twist, because we have Uranus this year aspecting you directly. We have Uranus sitting in a house of partnership. So we are relating and interacting with people who would be completely different from who we have interacted with before. We would even be forming partnership, business relationship, contracts with the kind of people, the kind of clients, the kind of business associate, the kind of personal partners who we have not interacted with before. And the culmination that is happening at the end of the month is coming with a bit of a surprise in those areas for us. So I'll speak about that as well. We're starting a fresh new chapter of our life this month. You're starting a chapter when you're releasing any hindrance to the free flow of your creativity, free flow of your thought process, free flow of your courage in your words, in the way you express yourself to the world. And it will be shown in our entire persona, because Pluto rules our entire persona. The power within us would be displayed in a very, very visible manner going forward, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with the power that is coming to us. So we'll go into the details of that and with specific areas of our life these transits could impact us. First, I'd like to go deeper into the Pluto South Node Saturn conjunction, which is happening from this month, and it will impact us all the way till January 2020. Then we'll go into the rest of the month, and I'll talk about the details of the month. As usual, I'll leave timestamps and comments in the comment section of the video, so please reference to that for coming back to the reading during the course of the month, as well as in the course of the next six months as this transit rolls out. Let's dig in. Pluto has been in our house of communication since 2008 and it will continue to be there till 2023. But what's happening this year, which is different from any of the years previously, is that Saturn and South Node, they are coming together with Pluto. Pluto is empowering the way we express ourselves. It wants us to break the previous structures. It wants to bring out any issues in our self-expression because it wants us to be free and powerful in the way we express ourselves to our surrounding, and it wants us to make a more and firmer commercial impact on our surroundings, on our audience. Now, in order to do that, it needs to purge an old way of behavior, an old way of thinking, an old way of us connecting with our surroundings. What do we expect in terms of the feedback from our surroundings when we say something? Do we think too much about each word before expressing it? Do we overthink our left brain and deny our right brain of creativity? Do our words lose the meaning because we are so busy in firming up the syntax of it? It wants us to look at the reality, and it will bring out these limitations in open. And you might have felt that in the last 2 weeks, as I spoke about it in the last month's video as well. Before Pluto fixes anything, it goes to the underbelly of things and brings out the limitations for us to see in the face, because you can only solve a problem when we acknowledge it. So first it brings out the limitation. It shows us where the gaps in our self-expression are, the gaps in our environment is, the gaps in the way the tools that we're using of communication are, the gaps in our thought processes, in our courage, in our ability to let us be are. What are the gaps in our skill set which help us communicate with our surroundings? And we need to fix this. Why? Because if you don't fix the mundane, if you don't fix the mode, if you don't fix the words, your highest inspirations will not come to life. And that is the road to success this year. This year, our road to success is for us to express our inner vision, our inspiration, our ideas to people who are different from us, to a wider set of audience. We are into publication, into writing, into traveling, into interacting with people who are completely different from us. We are bringing a different ideology in front of other people. Now, in order to do that, and in order to become this new person who we want to become, there is something in our old way of expression that needs to be resolved. And Pluto shows up when our soul wants to evolve to a higher purpose in our life, but there's something in the mundane, something in the day-to-day, something in our own emotional behavior and our mindset and our psychology that is blocking us from reaching to a higher purpose. And Pluto works by getting to the core of things. It wants to destroy the negative thinking patterns. It wants to bring out the healing of our courage, of our mind, of our higher mind. It wants to transform the way we interact with our surrounding. And the first phase is always met with emotions, because we are unlocking the things that we did not want to face before. So there will be things that will be coming out, and they have been coming out previously. There can be an actual set of information about you that might be coming out in the open, because this has to do with media as well. So if you are in a field of media, in the field of communication, in the field of branding, there might be things previously not disclosed that may come out in the open. So this is a month when we need to be very, very careful about our social conduct. Whether it is Twitter, whether it is Facebook, whether what we are posting, we need to be a little bit careful about that. There will be things that will come out in the open for us to reckon with, for us to deal with. Information that will come out. But we do the right thing, which is right for us. We do the things that are good for our career, that are good for our success, that are good for our commercial success. We'll dial down the ego a little bit, and it is not just us. Ego will be rampant this month. Be aware of that. Ego struggles will be rampant at this month, because this does not just impact you, it impacts the rest of the people as well. In fact, for your sign, it is actually a positive aspect to you. So Pluto is empowering you in a positive manner. So we dial down the ego a little bit and take in the inputs that are coming, and we do what is right for us in a longer period of time. We don't waste time in power struggles. We accept the inputs which can help you in evolution, but we give up anything that is coming as a noise. The peanut gallery telling us you cannot do this, this is not your forte, this is not Maggie Gyllenhaal. I don't know if you are a fan or not. Maggie Gyllenhaal is an actress. She has her ascendant at 24, she has a sun at 24 degrees Scorpio. That's where Pluto is right now. She's normally does not need any blockages to her communication. She's a very, very vocal person, but she has been working on something which appeals to her in terms of empowerment of women. She's gone in that direction, and she had a reporter come to her and write an article about the good work that she's been doing, and the first thing that the reporter points out is her squeaky voice. This is called peanut gallery. This is the definition of peanut gallery. So you have to filter out the kind of feedback that is coming to you, what is of relevance, what is not, because people will be judgmental a little bit this month. There will be people who will not like this new powerful you that is emerging out of your previous phase and showing their talents out to a wider set of audience. So we take the good with the bad and we deal with it. But more importantly, this is the start of a process of us becoming much powerful in terms of the words that we say, we write, and we communicate to our immediate surroundings. The subconscious fears, the inner weakness, any inner doubts, Ketu will release it. It will help us, elevate us from our previous circumstances, and Pluto gives us the impetus to discard, to give away, to sort of remove what is outdated, what is clutter in our path, in our mind, the things in our past that if we have been told about, because this is the house where a self-expression is created from our upbringing. And I'm sorry to bring the upbringing up. I'm a mother myself. I don't mean to say it in any negative fashion for any parent, but this is about the self-expression is first created in the way we are brought up. So our early learning phase, how much freedom of self-expression we were given in that phase, defines this part, this aspect of us. This left brain, analytical left brain, are we free to say what we want to say? Are we made to feel secure in our immediate surrounding to be able to self-express freely as a child? So that upbringing is embedded in our DNA, but maybe some of those patterns, they surely don't serve you now in the new world that you are in. Because the generation in which we were brought up is different from the generation we are in right now. So the way you communicate right now is going to be different from the way we were educated to communicate. So is there a change in self-expression and in the scrutiny that we give to ourselves, in this holding on to every word and figuring out whether it is right or wrong, whether the syntax of this email is right or not? Are we being too safe over here? Are we using too much of the rational left brain and not letting the creativity and the right brain free to be able to do what we came here to do? Because here we are going towards our higher purpose. The objective is to, yes, get efficient in how we express ourselves to the world and be very, very powerful in the way we communicate our words. But are we holding back our right brain, our creativity, by being too exacting, overthinking every word we say? Then there are other things that come with it. This is not just about self-expression. It's about the thinking. Do not travel, do not move, do not communicate, do not display courage in public. It can be taken as arrogance. Don't create new contacts. Do not change your environment too much. Changing neighborhood too much. The ability to take risk, the fears, the apprehensions that are embedded deep in our psyche, that curb our desire to explore, to discover, to relate deeper to life, that is what we need to give up this month. And it is just the first step. And it is a major step. The inquisitiveness that a child is born with, which is sometimes curbed by people not paying heed to their inspiration, paying heed to their curiosity, that needs to come up, because we are becoming we are becoming a person who's absorbing information like anything right now. We are learning new skill set right now. We are working on enhancing our skill set, which will give us more commercial value down the road. And this is something, Saturn comes here only once in 30 years. We are starting a completely new way of being with Saturn here in terms of our commercial destiny. So Pluto will bring out and cull out the deeper issues, the deeper gaps, the writer's block, as it said, or just the limitation. Do we expect negativity when we publish something? Do we expect negativity? Because if you want behavior of the other to change, if you want your surroundings to become positive for you, you have to expect a different outcome from it. Do you expect the environment to be hostile for you, whether it is your co-workers, you're about to be put in a position of leadership and you expect that people in your surroundings will not accept your leadership? Do we expect the people around us to misunderstand us? Do we expect the surroundings to be hostile? So our thinking, our thought processes about our surroundings, about our environment in which we are operating needs to change. And it's possible that you might end up changing the environment. This is not the neighborhood I want to be in. This is not the kind of people I want to work with. This is not the form of transportation, mode of communication, website, or the kind of public platform I want to use. So there could be a purge in the actual platform itself. Actual daily environment might change. The neighborhood you live in might change. The surroundings where you shop, the form of transportation that you use on a daily basis, you're changing your immediate environment and the way you relate to it. So either we change or the environment change. But Pluto, listeners, always try to change your own psychology, because the environment will become what you are from inside. Whether you change it, you might shift the job, you might shift the working environment, but if our inner environment is the same, our inner thinking is the same, we have the power of thought process that will convert the external environment to become the same. Different generations will get impacted in a different way, because Pluto sits in our chart somewhere depending on which generation we belong to. So if you are a 1939 to 1956 born, you are a Pluto in Leo generation. Pluto in Leo generation were born to rule. They were born to rule. They were born to become very, very powerful in the way they have a king kind of a thought process. And here, with this release of some sort of courage blockage in your mind, the limitation in your mind of who you can become, this changes your career. So if you are a 1939 to 1956 born, you will see a specific change in your career. And this especially now, although it is a generational aspect, but you have to look at the degrees as well. Pluto is currently most effective between 20 to 24 degree of Scorpio. So looking at your chart, if you have planets between 20 to 24 degree of Scorpio, if you are a Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon, Scorpio sun. So if you are a Scorpio sun born between 12th of November to 16th or 17th of November, especially 16th to 17th of November, Pluto is going to be very, very powerful on you. It will empower you like nothing before. It's like having a nuclear power in your thought process, in your brain, ready to go, ready to go. The courage is enhanced. You feel almost obsessed to make an impact with your words, with your self-expression at this point in time. But if you're born between 1939 to 1956-57, this will show up in your career, in your public image. So this is Hillary Clinton, by the way. She has her sun at 22 degree of ascendant, and she has Pluto in Leo. So we'll see how her public image transforms during the course of this month. This could be positive or negative. It depends on the individual chart and completion, but Yes, you come in the highlight, you come in the news, you come in the media, you come on the spotlight, you come in the highlight right now, especially if you are 1939 to 1956 born. Then if you are a 1956 to 1971 born, this shows up in who is part of your life. It shows up in your social status. Am I part of the millionaire club, or am I part of a billionaire club? Who are the people I affiliate with? Which is the powerful group I'm a part of? So there is a hindrance that gets released in your thought process, which lets you connect with people much powerful than before, and you form a new set of association which help you get to the next big wealth idea, next big wealth opportunity. So the people who you connect with will change if you are a 1956 to 1971 born, especially if you have planets between 20 to 24 degree of Scorpio, which means your Scorpio sun born between 12th of November to 16th or 17th November. Now, if you're born between 1971 to 1983, you have a voodoo power, if I can say that. And this is my generation, and I will ask you to be careful about your thoughts. You are learning the art of law of attraction. I don't know if you follow Abraham Hicks. I do. This is you having the power of thought. You literally can change your surroundings basis how you think of it. How can you visualize a thought, energize it that much to bring into existence? You actually do not need the fight here. You just have to visualize that people will accept your ideas, or this person will support me, or this is how things will. This is subconscious fear being released. And then you waken up that you have this power within you. Faith becomes an obsession here, and it has to become an obsession because you're delivering something of value to the world which is beyond what eyes can see. Follow and learn the art of law of attraction. It is true for everybody, each one of us. Pluto rules us, and Pluto is power of thoughts. So, but specifically if you're a 1971 to 1983 born, you have to look at your surroundings. If you want a person in front of you to behave differently, if you want an authority figure to approve what you want, if you want your co-workers to support your next big idea, if you want your audience to accept your book better, you want your audience to accept your publication better, visualize that. And it will come into existence. You have to make a thought, a desire, a passion so deep. You already have to visualize that it's almost happening for it to come into existence. And I don't say this lightly to you. I have seen this work. It is beautiful. You have to remove the resistance that you have in terms of your ability to get there. Then if you're a 1983, 1995 millennials, 1983 to 1995 born, this is in your, Pluto is in your first house. You are the most powerful generation we have seen of our lifetime. This is a generation which is so ambitious, which is so hell-bent on making a personal and global transformation that it will make it happen. So if you are a Pluto in Scorpio generation, which is 1983 to 1995 born, you will physically see a change. Your whole persona will be transforming. The way you present yourself to the world, the way you are physically will be changing. A physical transformation of sorts happen. This is a very physical journey for you. This is not just psychological. You change your whole way of being, the way you physically look, the way your personality is, the way you connect with everybody, the profession you are in. These are physical changes, and you're coming up into your personal power. This is a generation to reckon with. We'll see it in the media. Most of the politicians, see how many of the 2020 candidates and the people who are there in the assembly are now of that generation. A millennial is about to run for president. It has never happened before. A person in their 30s running for president, and he has a lot of support. So if you have planets between 20 to 24 degree of Scorpio. You're born between 12th of November to 16th or 17th of November. This is a very, very powerful time of making an impact professionally, physically. Very, very ambitious time for you to get what you want, to achieve what you want right now. It's very, very possible for you to make it happen, provided you remove this feeling of lack, this feeling of not being able to say what you want, not releasing your true potential. You have to purge this month. Be careful about social media this month. Do not lose your energy on social media this month. There'll be a lot of news, society news that will be coming out in the open. Don't get engaged in that. Don't get engaged in the negative side of Pluto, which is power struggle, ego struggle, people wasting time of each other in figuring out who is right, who is wrong, and fighting the battles which don't get anywhere. Don't waste your energy on that. Very, very powerful month for us. We have to make use of it. So that's what is an overarching theme this month. The professions you are in right now, which will be most impacted. If you are in a teaching profession, you are in a writing journalism profession, you are in print media, these are the professions that will be most evolved. You are in a political profession. You are a leader of you're taking leadership in some way. That will be impact. What happens at the end of the month though is that Saturn will become very powerful. So you are highlighted the gaps in your plan, the physical gaps. Saturn is about physical plans. So do you not have the right skill set? Do you not have the right tools? Do you not have the right capacity right now to communicate? So there are some issues, some feedback that comes to you from the peanut gallery as well as the people who care for you, which you'll have to filter out, and that will be more prominent towards the end of the month. But you are reaching the next level of evolution in your growth, and this is a very, very important point in that you're getting out of your comfort zone. There's specific dates which I want you to be careful about, or where you think that there will be some amount of things coming out in the open in terms of our gaps, because we will be evolving our strategy over the course of next couple of months all the way to July. And in July with the eclipses, we'll see the results of all the effort we'll be putting in. So 30th of April is one date when we can see some of the limitations come out in the open. We might see some of the authority figure maybe telling us the gap in our commercial plan, or us realizing how to make this commercially work, that it could be difficult. So a lot of discipline is called for. Then the second will happen around 4th of July. And the third will happen around 28th of September. We are becoming more conscious of our restrictions at that time. It will require you patience. It will require you to release a little bit of ego at this time, because as I mentioned in the new moon video of Aries, it's like acupuncture. Saturn and South Node meeting together is like acupuncture, where you're holding on too much control. Saturn is telling you to release a little bit control, to let things flow easily in your communication style. There's something that you're trying to control way too much, and it's holding the flows for you, holding the flow of the power, holding the flow of the courage, holding the flow of the words. There's some amount of ease required there. So these are the points, but overall, end of the month, be a little bit careful. By 2020, 12th of January 2020, we'll be starting a new 34-year structure of communication, of responsible use of power. Very, very long-lasting way of thinking is what you're establishing right now. So now let's dig into the rest of the month. Looking at the rest of the month, this is a season of Aries. So this is the season of initiative. It's a very, very passionate season. All the way till 20th of April, you'll feel that the things are moving very, very fast. And the thing is that right now, most of the planets, they are in their signs, so you will manifest very easily. The things that are initiated right now, they will yield very, very positive result. In fact, around 5th or 6th of April, when we have the new moon, initiating something is sort of a must. And the last 1 month with Mercury retrograde, you might have felt a little bit stagnant in terms of things moving forward. Mercury was retrograde in our creative area, so we might have been really looking at our options at that point in time. Multiple options might have been shown to us in terms of what's viable, what's not, in terms of a forward course of action. But now, having chosen a direction, having decided where we want to put our bets on, what we want to take a risk on, now we move forward without any fear. You are ready to sort of take a call in terms of your career, in terms of your health routine. And that is what we do on 5th of April. On 5th of April, we have a beautiful new moon which is happening in your house of career and your house of health. We are changing something in our health environment as well as in our work environment. We are taking an initiative. There's a motivation to start afresh in our career. There's a motivation and energy and impetus to sort of get it right. Just get going. Your heart will join in. A new diet, a new health routine, a better work schedule, being efficient in work, taking on certain projects that are very, very efficient for you, and they will yield results very, very quickly as well. Do initiate something first of a kind in terms of a new project. Either it is a new work environment or a project which is very innovative in nature, which yields you results very quickly. Do not take on very long-term projects at this point in time, which require longer duration of attention span, because in Aries you want to take quick results, quick wins to some extent. So do certain short-term projects or break down your activities into smaller portions and then do them like that, and do them independently. You would have to convince a set of people about your point of view, but working in a team may not be the way to move fast right now. You want to move fast right now. You want to move out of the inertia. You want to move out. This is the time when we just want to shoot ahead. And in order to do that, yes, convince other people, authority figures about your point of view, but move alone in terms of a team at this time, and cut out any addictions in your diet as a part of this new moon. You have very strong aspects right now to cut out any negative people, any negativity overall in thought process. Purge inner and outer world right now. You're moving into much higher efficiency of health and work, and the feeling of being reborn in your work habits and your health habits will be felt at this time. And it will show up in your public image. It will show up in your career. It will show up in your job. It will show up in the way you interact with the authority figures. This efficiency will show up. And this new moon has a very, very lucky fixed star attached to it, Alpheretz, which is known for honor, which is known for fame, which is known for wealth, which is known for promotion, provided you take a risk on yourself, provided you leave the fear behind, and your ambition will be very, very stoked right now. The freedom of movement, the freedom of expression is a must right now. This star is known for John Glenn, who was the first US astronaut to orbit the Earth. He did not feel the fear about it. He did not take into consideration about the comfort factor at this point in time. And that is something that has to be left behind. And I'm specifically saying that because as Scorpio, we are a fixed sign. We create value, and once somebody set us in motion, we take very strategic steps. But coming out of the stationary position, the inertia of it is what fixed signs have a difficulty with. So this new moon has a in conjunction with us, which is a difficult aspect, which means that incorporating the momentum of the season will require conscious effort from your side. But once you will get started, you will feel the energy come through. Just take the first step, get on the treadmill, take that first step of starting something new, even something small, putting something new, changing the route to work, even just changing something little, and you'll see that the momentum just builds in and the fixed energy dissipates, because there is no fixed energy this month. This month, up until 20th of this month, is all about changing and initiating things and feeding your soul something new, feeding your soul an adventure of sorts, a pioneer of sorts in the work that you do. And the work that you would be doing would also be a pioneer in your field. So maybe a project that you've never done before, a diet routine you have never tried before, and you will be responding to things as they move very, very fast this month. You will be responding to rapidly changing environment this month. It will need you to get reoriented and reorganized very fast and take certain risk on yourself and dare a little bit and lead on your own at this point in time instead of waiting for somebody. So this is what is happening with the new moon at the start of the month. One quick point, at the start of the month, especially the first week of the month, is very, very inspiring from creativity perspective. So it's a good time. The first week of the month is very good time to originate new ideas, because Mercury, our mind, has just gone through a creative rebirth. So there might be some higher inspirations coming your way, higher insights coming your way. It is the time to sort of cull out the ideas. Maybe don't invest in them, meaning do not start something, in my view, only after 6th. Before that, do not initiate something new if you can. Do not invest in something if you can. It is a very high inspirational time, but the details will come a little bit later. Around 7th of April onwards is a better time. Even 6th of April is a better time to invest or go into a new creative venture or launch something or take the first step in terms of initiating a new work project or a new career or a new contracted job or a new health habit. Then on 7th of April, when Mercury and Saturn are meeting, this is a very, very good day, 7th of April, to sort of buckle down and complete something. It is the day of completion. It is the day to have a structure around something. If you have had some creative inspiration at the start of the month, 7th of April is when we buckle down, have a productive discussion, have the discipline to write down, have the discipline to communicate, have the discipline to put creativity into a commercial format on 7th of April. Then on 10th of April, you can convince people about your point of view. 10th of April is when your communication style will be very, very strong. You can buy it and sell it, as they say, anything you want. This is also the day on 10th of April that you should probably look at new commercial ideas of investment. Taking calculated business risk, 10th of April could be a good day to do that. You can persuade somebody. Your words will have a lot of powerful. You can get support. You can get insight. Do very, very detailed and very powerful work on 10th of April. This is available from 9th to 11th even, but 10th is the day that it's exact. This is specifically true if you have planets between 20 to 24 degree of Scorpio, which means if you're born between 12th of November to 16th to 17th of November, you'll feel this impetus that you need to start something new, and then you just go with it. You convince people, you have the discipline for it. 7th and 8th of April, even though the discipline is high, just be mindful that the emotions can be a little bit on the higher side, especially with your partner. So being a little bit careful on the personal side on that day. Then on 9th of April, I feel just the day before you're like, 9th of April, I think you might get more conviction. This is the time around 9th of this month when you're fully woken up to the fact that this is the direction I'm taking, and you feel very, very sure about it because of either a messaging coming through or some sort of initial success showing up, and you figure out that yes, the thing that I purged and the thing that I initiated is in line with what I want to do. Some karmic event happens around 9th of this month, which gives you this inner conviction in my viewpoint. And 10th is when you get stronger about it, and hence you can convince people about it. 10th is also when you get more ideas. It's a very good day. 10th is actually one of the best days, I think, of this month from a creativity perspective as well as from a romance perspective. You have Venus in Pisces in the area of love and passion. Your passion and creativity will be on its high in the first 3 weeks of the month all the way to 20th of this month. Take advantage of that. If you are in a creative field, get indulgent this month. Get indulgent. Create something of value, especially around 10th of April. 10th of April is also a good romantic day. So if you want to have a date, that's the day to do it. On what happens in parallel though, and this is something I spoke about in the introduction as well, is that once your ideas set into motion, you're taking a risk in your heart, in your body, in your physical being. On your new start, challenges will come. So around 10th of April and 13th of April, you will get feedback. You'll get some amount of resistance. You'll feel the pressure. You'll be working under a lot of pressure. Even though there's discipline, there's power, there is ideas there, but there will be blockages that you'll have to get over. But this is a very good aspect to get over the blockages, because if it was an easy aspect, if a feedback was coming through somebody who's not harsh, or you did not feel within yourself that you need to reevaluate your work and get into more details, then we will be inadequate in our work. This is making your work better. So there is resistance that is felt, which could be internal blockage of our thought process. We perceive that, yes, my idea will not be accepted. We expect a hostile environment. We expect criticism, or we might experience it externally through somebody. That is the time when we need to use the conviction that we are feeling within ourselves that we are on the right path and we have to push through. Especially if you have planets around 20 degrees of Scorpio, or if you're born around 12th of November, be prepared that you'll be working under pressure. Hard work will be there, but this is giving you the gift of discipline. It's giving you the gift of being right. It's giving you the discipline of getting things right is very strongly in your foundation, because this is something which you're building on a very strong foundation. Now you're making sure it has commercial viability. This new work change that you're planning to do, it has the right interest of yours in mind, that you can get to the next level in your career on the basis of that. So those kind of things. There will be a change in approach as well that might come about around 12th of April. Maybe you decide, basis of the feedback and basis of the further inspiration that you're getting, that you need to change the approach from the initial one, and we do that. So stay flexible during this time. This is a season when you have to respond quickly to rapidly changing environment and show leadership in being able to do that. That is the gist of the new moon and the aspects that are coming following that. But I love this time from 11th to 16th of April, because I think the conviction you have in your vision, that becomes reality with it. It becomes a touch it, feel it thing, that you're actually creating something new in your work life and to some extent in your health. So you will meet the challenges on 10th, 11th, 12th of April, and then you shift a little bit of an approach, and 13th of April you get more conviction, more willpower. There is like a rebirth of power surge within yourself, that you will be able to overcome that limitation. And on 14th of April, I feel when Sun and Jupiter are meeting together, you feel the first initial results, positivity coming through. You can see the tip of the iceberg that this opportunity or this change in career or this new project will give you more value going forward. You see the tip of the iceberg of the net worth and self-worth coming through as a result of that opportunity. But I'm telling you right now, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because Jupiter will be going retrograde in your house of money, in your house of resources, for the next couple of months. Until June, you will be reworking this to some extent, or investing more time and energy into it and figuring out how to grow this further. And you will grow this further. You will grow it 2 or 3 times by the end of this year, till it yields the final value that you truly deserve. So your talents will get enhanced as a result of this new opportunity. Your valuation, the value of your talents will get enhanced as a result. What you earn out of your talents will get enhanced as a result. And that is the gift of Jupiter this year to us. But you feel the positivity, the optimism to take the step and invest your all into that direction, into that work in the middle of this month, around 14th or 15th of the month. And then we take it from there. 14th of April is also beautiful from romance perspective. This is actually a time you'll overall feel very much over the top. You'll feel like you're at the top of your game. You'll feel very confident about yourself, both in your personal life and professional life. Because the challenges are coming to you, but they are productive challenges. They're making a positive aspect to you. So the planets who are challenging this new opportunity, they make a positive aspect to you, which means that they are easily overcome. They are adding to you. 14th and 15th, we can get a little bit over the top. It's Leo moon, so do not overcommit. You can see the top of the iceberg, but you need to figure out this opportunity in further detail going forward. So do not overcommit at this time, over deliver. under promise and over deliver. Just keep that in mind around this time, specifically on 15th of April and even a little bit earlier of 15th of April. These are the dates when we have tendency to overcommit. Because there's so much positivity coming through, we feel that we can just do everything at this point in time. But you will have this opportunity tested again against your resources, against how much do you want to give to your work, how much do you want to keep for your personal life, things like that over the next couple of months. So don't overcommit right now. Sorry, the other date is 13th of April. So 13th of April and 15th of April, I want you to be a little bit careful about overcommitting something. And also don't take undue, being careful on the same dates about taking over the top commercial risk. But I feel that there is possibility of a monetary gain seen. Again, this is the tip of the iceberg, but you see some positive monetary gains coming through right now, which show you that this opportunity is worth your time. So it takes you further forward to the next step. Then on 17th of April, we have Mercury and Venus around 20th of April moving into your house of work. The support that you were not feeling that you're getting from your surroundings, if you were feeling that, surroundings are getting you a bit of an hostile work environment is there, or maybe I'm not getting support from my co-workers, if those thought processes were there at the start of the month, they will diminish as the month progresses. As we gain conviction in our vision as well, right? That also comes through. That comes through in our work. And as I was saying at the Pluto transit details as well, when we view and expect positivity out of our surroundings, that's what we get in return. But with Venus there, you will feel that there is support both in health and work from 20th of the month. On 20th of the month, we also have Sun move into your partnership sector. So there'll be a lot of focus on connecting with people on a one-on-one basis, meeting clients, figuring out new contracts, figuring out new partners, or just new energy into your partnership, into your marriage partnership, into your committed partnerships right now. And as I spoke about it in the last month's video, we have Uranus sitting in our partnership sector. So we are connecting with people who are different from us, or the people who have never been in our lives, or if we might get into some quick committed partnerships as well. I mean, we have seen that in the news, some of the celebrities who do have, and I know you have to take that with a pinch of salt, but the celebrities who have planets around 2 degrees, 1 degree, initial degrees of Scorpio, they have just gone and gotten married. So quick in and out relationships, quick in and out interaction with people, quick in and out interaction with people who are different from you could happen at this time, and the existing partnership could take a very exciting turn at this point in time. But at the same time, if you're a October born Scorpio having planets around 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree of Scorpio, you have to be a little bit careful in terms of which direction the relationship is taking, because there might be and there's nothing to control here, because you cannot really control Uranus. Uranus is a wild card energy. It wants to free you, in fact. So there is no point in holding down something that wants to free you, but it will take you to the next level in your relationship by changing the way you interact with your partner, because there's an aspect on 22nd of this month, which is also the part of full moon that is happening on 19th of April, which is Sun and Uranus are meeting each other. This is the first physical aspect which shows up, which shows the shows what is coming as a part of this Uranus in our partnership, in our relationship sector. What are the kind of people who we'll be interacting with? So either a new person could come in your life who's different from you, a new client is acquired, a new contract is coming, or at the same time some changes, some wild card event in terms of shift in the kind of relationship you have with your partner happens. This is especially true if you're a October born Scorpio, especially around the cusp 22, 23, 24 October born, or a 1, 2 or 3 degree of Scorpio. And this is very much an integral part of the full moon that is happening on 19th of April. The full moon that is happening in 19th of April is happening at 29° Libra. So this is a full moon that would have been technically our full moon, because we're completing a 6-month cycle. The last 6 months have been all about bringing a change in your life, and that cycle, the half cycle, is coming to closure. It's like a phase which is coming to an end, because an old phase of our life is coming to an end and a new one is beginning. On 7th of November, when we had a new moon in your sign last year in 2018, that is where this chapter began, and we are bringing that chapter to conclusion right now. There's a conclusion in terms of us leaving an old way of being behind and moving forward. And this is a very different world we are entering into. 29° of Libra in symbolic astrology is shown as realizing that she's fully awake, fully conscious. Within her dream, a woman finds herself flying through a colorful and bizarre new world. It is like a feeling of being detached from your body, being detached from reality to some extent. It's like a fantastical world you are entering into, which is very different from where you have been before. You're waking up from a reality which has now become past for you, and you see that the future is completely different. There's a distinct breaking away from the past that happens, a completion of a cycle, a call for a new life which happens right now. And before a new phase begins, you're putting an ending to something. You're putting the last finishing touches to your old life and getting rid of that. So take care of yourself physically right now, which is also the theme of the new moon. Take care of your relationships right now. This is a full moon which comes with a little bit of emphasis on our partnerships, because it's almost in our sign. So balance of you versus your partner. Are you taking your partnership along on this new journey? Are you taking your committed partner, the people who live with you in the house, the people who are there with you throughout? They could be best friends, people who are committed to you. Are you taking them along? Are you taking your clients along who have been committed to you? So there's a me balancing the me with the others, which happens as a part of this full moon, and an end of a phase. And before this new phase starts, set your intentions on what you want out of your new life and go after that. The unusual people who are coming in your life, they could cause some amount of shakeup. So we want to be more centered before we enter this phase of our life, because there'll be some unexpected emotional changes that you will see even in the end of this month. With moon meeting Uranus, we always have some emotional surprises that come through, and this is directly aspecting you. So especially, as I said, the cusp will feel a lot, but most of us will feel. So be flexible and open-minded at this point in time, in terms of what your partners are showing you, what your partnerships are showing you. Maybe your partners tell you something, because this is about a change which is coming from the other. So maybe your partner tells you that he wants something different. Drake has, I don't know if you know the rapper Drake, I'm a fan. So Drake has 0° Scorpio in his chart, and he just released an album where he confessed that he's still in love with Rihanna. Rihanna is married, so is he. Rihanna is committed, and so is he. But this is just, he's like, he feels so independent and free in his current relationship that he's very, very open about expressing whatever he thinks is okay. So just be ready that your partner might throw one or two surprises, because he or she is also seeking some amount of freedom as you are. Your partners, usually Scorpios, are Taurus in nature, or at least they have qualities of Taurians in their chart. So they're normally stable. When in a stable sign Uranus comes, they seek independence. You might be feeling that if you're in a committed partnership or a relationship with somebody, you might be feeling that in your partner right now. And they show you a path of being in a new way in a partnership. I'm not endorsing what Drake did, by the way. I did not think that was a great idea. But yeah, it just letting you know as an example that, you know, this seeking freedom in existing partnership is a theme which might come through. So being more flexible at this time, be ready for the exciting ride that your partner wants to take you along with you, and this is the time to do it. This is the time when you're looking for something exciting, some amount of over the top energy coming through in your life, and that comes through sort of networking and combining with business partners who are different from you, in your personal life, excitement with your partner, in your marriage partner at home, and we go for the ride. One thing to be careful about is that this full moon is coming with a star which is known for hubris, which is known for ego. So it may not be, ego could be, and I said about it, the Pluto transit as well, because 19th of April is when Pluto will start standing still. It goes retrograde on 24th of this month. All the external planets, Pluto, Saturn, all the social planets, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, they will go retrograde, which means they'll go in a different direction, as they'll appear to go in a different direction than regular. When that happens, the external influences pause. But before that happens, they manifest the most. So from 19th to 24th of the month, you will find people a little bit high on ego, a little bit high on power struggles, a little bit high on confidence. So just check yourself at the time, because we can only check ourselves, we cannot check others. Some relationship conflicts, if they come up because of ego, is something that we need to be careful about. I'm sorry to say that, but just be careful about it. I'm just warning you in case it comes up. But I think if we handle that part well, this is a full moon which shows us a preview of a new way of being with our partner, and a new phase is about to begin. Next month we'll be having, and next week from there we'll be having a new moon in your partnership sector. A new way of connecting with your partner will come about. A new client contract could come about in May. So we are getting ready for that essentially. Then on 27th of April, that is the day when Mars and Neptune are meeting together. It's great for inspiration, for if you're doing some amount of research into something which is creative in nature, astrological in nature, financial in nature. It is a great day to be inspired by ideas. But I will warn you, from 25th to 29th of April, do not invest in an idea. Do not try to not invest or go all out into something, because this is a bit of a... So there is sometimes a thin line between creativity and deception. So that is where this line sits. So I want you to be a little bit careful between 25th to 29th of April on financial matters. On financial matters, something can look way too good to be true, and it could be. So be a little bit careful. It's great for creativity. It's great for sort of doing something which is exciting and new in nature. Do that, but do not invest into it. Then on 29th and 30th is when the Saturn is going. So that's when, as I mentioned, a second set of feedback can come from people. You will see what you need to let go in your communication style. In my view, it is normally trying to control it too much, trying to control our words too much, our thought process too much. This is, as I mentioned in the video earlier, this is like the acupuncture of our mind. We have to prick the needle where the pressure is, because we are trying to control the flow way too much of our prosperity, of our commercial destiny, of our words. And as soon as you prick it and you release the pressure, things start flowing much smoothly. And that is the learning of Saturn and Ketu in my viewpoint. That's how we end the month, Scorpio. It's a beautiful, beautiful month ahead of ourselves. I look forward to our journey together and us moving to the next level in our respective partnerships. So let me know how your month goes. Good luck for that. Thank you.